In Lovecraft stories, there often appear nameless winged horrors. In his poem, The Fungi from Yuggoth, there is a scene where a person is talking to two black winged things that then fly off. In his tale, The Call of Cthulhu, the Louisiana cultists say they didn't murder any of the sacrifice victims. They were killed by black winged creatures that flew out of the swamp. August Derleth, a popularizer of Lovecraft stories, created the term Byakhee in 1957 in a story titled The Lamp of Alhazred. In this tale, the hero sees creatures that are called Byakhee. In the story, they're bat-winged furry animals, apparently about the size of a person. Since that original tale, those Byakhee have been conflated with Lovecraft's winged monsters. Now, when I wrote the game Call of Cthulhu, I further developed the Byakhee. In Lovecraft's tale, The Festival, the protagonist encounters a repulsive winged monster like Lovecraft has in the stories. Lovecraft describes it as part ant, part bat, part rat, part decayed human being. I really like this description. So I decided that this monster was in fact a Byakhee, because like a furred guy with wings didn't impress me. So over time, the Byakhee's appearance in print kept evolving to look more and more insectoid. By 1987, when Chaosium published Sandy Petersen's Guide to Monsters, the Byakhee had become quite wasp-like, as you can see. Now, in this book, I created the concept of the hoon. I didn't want Byakhee to have a stinger. I knew they needed to go faster than light to go through space, so I decided that the Byakee's insect-like abdomen had the hoon, an organ which permitted faster than light travel. Now, in my Guide to Monsters, I have my researchers speculate that the hoon developed from a stinger, but of course there's no need to theorize that Byakhee ever had stingers. I mean, almost every insect species have an abdomen, but none of them have stingers, hardly. So when I created my game Cthulhu Wars, the wasp version of the Byakhee got even more confirmed. My artist, Richard Long, made it almost entirely insect-like. Even in my Guide to Monsters, the Byakhee still had bat wings and a reptile head, but not this guy in Cthulhu Wars. He also enlarged the hoon, both to make the creature more disgusting and grub-like and to emphasize his unearthly nature. Of course, we stuck with bat wings, not insect wings, because Lovecraft said they were bat-like. Now, in our game Evil High Priest, we backed down a little on the insect appearance of the Byakhee. You can see this one still has some bug-like features, but it looks a little more spidery than insect-like, and it definitely looks more alien. One of my favorite YouTube channels is Blue Worm. That's Blue Worm with no E after blue. He does amazing stop-motion videos, some of which are Lovecraft related. In one of them, he created a Byakhee. Now, he portrays it as much larger than most previous versions, and also a lot more like a dragon. It even breathes steam from its nostrils. I like his Byakhee a lot. But this all leads up to the question, given how many different ways Byakhee have been portrayed, ranging from Derleth's bat monsters to Richard Long's wasp monsters to Blue Worm's dragon monster, so what is a Byakhee? Which of these is correct? Well, let's consider what a Byakhee is. It's a predator that flies across interstellar distances to hunt prey. It can be summoned by rituals and I assume science methods. It obviously can survive in deep space, so presumably it can exist on environments from Pluto to Mercury. It must have some severe temperature-resistant techniques. I don't think Byakhee breed on Earth. I don't think our environment's right for them. They do nest in large numbers in the library of Solano on Aldebaran in the Hyades, so presumably that's a better environment. Now, so picture. We have a space predator. It lives in space, it preys on planet-bound entities, and it responds to magic spells or psychic spells. I see no reason that they might not span over millions or billions of light years. This kind of solves my problem with what Byakhee look like. You see, a creature that actually spans the entire galaxy, and possibly multiple galaxies, probably comes in many different variants and species. There is not just one type of Byakhee. There may be millions of species of Byakhee, some more draconic, some more bat-like, some insectoid, some their own things. Our own part of space may only have a few hundred species of Byakhees living in it. But who knows? What I'm saying is that all the different portrayals of Byakhee can be correct if the term Byakhee is more like the term carnivora. Now, look at these images. All these animals are in the same order of mammals, the carnivora. They're fairly closely related, but they have a lot of variety. What I'm saying is that the Byakhee would have the same or even greater diversity than these. Now, let's get one thing out of the way. The Byakhee are not using their wings to fly through space. Not even in Earth's atmosphere. The wings are way too small for something this big to fly with. Besides, wings are useless in space. There's nothing for the wings to press against. The Byakhee fly with the hoon, the organism inside what looks like an abdomen. So, why does it have wings? Well, they are for maneuvering and directional changes while in an atmosphere. I am assuming the hoon is mostly just straight line acceleration, and while a Byakhee might be able to use it for limited steering, the wings, once in air, give it much finer adjustment, letting it strike down an enemy with precision. This may mean that they prefer striking on planets with an atmosphere, because if there's no atmosphere, they have to only use the hoon, so they have to, if they want to be precise, they may have to land and walk around to get you. So atmospheres are better, This implies that though it flies through space, it preys on planet-bound food in atmosphere planets. Maybe it itself has to breed on an atmosphere-free planet. Who knows, Now, Byakhee don't seem to have a society of any sort. I don't think they produce much of a material culture, though they do seem to be somewhat intelligent. Now, Chase Norton, a friend of mine, painted his Byakhee with glyphs and runes because he knew they were intelligent, and he wanted to make it clear they weren't just animals. I think this was a brilliant touch. We also know that the Byakhee live inside extraterrestrial buildings, so they're familiar with material culture, though I imagine they sometimes hang out on the mountains of the moon or somewhere. But they're primarily simply predators. They don't make works of art. They don't write books. They probably don't have their own language, but they can learn to understand human tongues. Maybe not speak it, though. Now, one of the things known about Byakhee is that they can be summoned and controlled. Is this a weakness? I don't think so. I think that the Byakhee themselves widely promulgate knowledge of how to summon them. Look at it from the Byakhee point of view. The Milky Way has 100 billion different planets. I'm sure a lot of them don't support life. There's nothing for a Byakhee to eat on Mercury or the Moon or Venus or Mars, right? So how can these creatures be sure there's something good to eat on a world? It must be pretty tedious to fly 200 light years and there's no lunch waiting for you. Well, if the Byakhee teach people how to summon a Byakhee, then every time a Byakhee is summoned to a planet, they know that that planet not only has life, but it has intelligent, advanced life. In other words, the first time anyone on a planet summons a Byakhee, that world is added to the list of targets for the Byakhee. And if they communicate with each other, the others find out too. I guess this means we shouldn't ever summon Byakhee so they don't find out about Earth, but they already have. It's too late. They're here.